Alright, I got myself some yummy fajita mix from Rancheritos. So, food department has been covered for me. And go home and enjoy that. I'll put a pumpkin pie in to cook because we have some frozen ones. And then from there, things will be, yeah, and I'll have that. Takes about, it's like 80 minutes to cook it, so that would be an hour, 20 minutes. And then it takes at least 2 hours to cool off. Because, yeah, it has to be completely cold. Pumpkin pie is one of those things where after you take it out of the oven, it still spends time cooking. I found that out, I reminded myself the tricky way. Because a couple of months ago, I made a pumpkin pie, and then I immediately took it out of the oven and put a fan on it to cool it down faster, but it wasn't completely cooked. So now it makes me wonder, could you potentially cook a pumpkin pie and keep going till it was completely cooked? Because in the oven, the heat from the oven would cook it and solidify it faster. And then without burning the outside, one is a tricky piece. And then two, when you're done with that, then you put it in front of a fan and cool it off really fast. I don't know. Wow. See that McDonald's cup? Just because of how tall it is compared to the car, there's no way that it was there when someone drove up. They had to have placed it under the car. Which actually, a little bit creepy. Yeah, whoa. That car is running. Fortunately, they have a cloth up, like they're sleeping in it, like it's their home or something. So hopefully I didn't bother them. They didn't see anything though, so I think we're good. But yeah. Anyways, store automation. First of all, before I talk about store automation, specifically the Amazon store, I want to say one thing that's more accessible to a lot more retail establishments and stores that, could actually, make it so that you don't have to be open on Thanksgiving. I mean, not that they probably wouldn't take this idea. But, the thing I'm thinking of is a vending machine. Let's say, this applies to Sundays too. I've talked about this in the past for, not having to be open on Sundays. But think about this, okay? So you have a community survey that goes around. And in your community survey, you ask people what types of things they would like to see. Yeah, you ask them what types of things they'd like to see on Thanksgiving or on Sundays or other holidays in the vending machine, even Christmas. What would you like to see in the vending machine? And then from there, let's try this. Here we go. So then from there, that's what you put in the vending machine. So then you can see, and then that's just what's available. You can go to the vending machine. You can get, I can see spices, diapers, maybe some medicine. I'm thinking Sunday, not just Thanksgiving, but yeah, you got your spice mixes and your diapers. Maybe if you could get a vending machine that was big enough, or design one, one that could fit some of those disposable foil roasting pans in there, that would be a good addition. Stuff like that. Make it a nice, well-rounded, pick stuff that you think the community would like, pick stuff that the community put down on the survey, and call it a day. Now, stores aren't likely to take that because you could get potentially more sales by actually being open on the holiday as opposed to just your vending machine being, oh, that's too jiggly, I can't do that. So, whoa, almost flipped upside down. So there's a thing. There's an option. I would love it if stores would try this out, but like I said, they're probably not going to, and there tilts my fajita mix. They need to make plastic bags that have wider bottoms for like takeout food and stuff, so that it doesn't end up flipping like it always does from Rancheritos. So, now the Amazon store. That's the next thing to consider here. Is it's a fully automated store, and people can buy stuff, and you don't have to have anybody there, like cashiering the store. So it's cashierless. It still has some job positions because Amazon has said our store isn't, making people lose jobs because we still need people to prep food and stock the shelves. Okay, yes, Amazon. It is true that those 2 job positions are still need to be filled. But they need those at the regular store anyways. I'm a cashier at Dollar Store, but we also, in addition, have people that just come and stock shelves. Then don't forget, like Smith's, they, in addition to their cashiers, have people that come in and they stock shelves and they prep food in the service deli. There we go. So, yeah. You're still getting rid of one job category with Amazon Store. So while it's a nice idea and it would keep a lot of places from having to have physical people there on holidays, it's still not perfect. Especially since cashiering is a pretty versatile job. It's a low-end job, yes, but it's a job that, well, I guess maybe you might have it be less low-end if you're at, if you think of like a high-end store. I don't know, that they might pay their cashiers quite good if they're a luxurious jewelry store or something like that. But, so while it sounds nice, you are getting rid of some jobs. Oh, and cashier jobs, like I was saying, I remember what I was saying now. They are very, it's a very versatile job. You have, think about it, stocking is a relatively difficult job. It requires a lot of work, lifting heavy things, being able to get packages out quickly, throwing them on shelves. There are slightly higher expectations for stocking than there are for cashiering. In my case at the store, at Dollar Tree, we do some stocking, but it's not difficult stocking. Most of the stocking a cashier will do is like the gum and candy at the register. Some of the other light things, every once in a while, our store man will give us assignments of other aisles to fill, stuff to clean. It's not too difficult. But like the legitimate stocking job is pretty quick-paced and rough, and I don't think I could handle it. I kind of know I can't. I did some stocking 2 times because I was covering for someone who wasn't going to be able to come in and stock because she was sick. So I was covering for her. It was a 4 a.m. shift, which, nope, I don't do 4 a.m.s. I'm sorry. I did for those, but yeah. It was, But aside from that, I just wasn't very good at it. I got better the second time. The first time, the stocking manager wasn't happy with my performance. And for me, I didn't say this out loud to her, But for me, I was kind of like, I'm not too worried. I was just nice and agreed to cover for somebody. This isn't going to be like my permanent job type thing. Yeah, we got someone checking, see if the Smith store's open. Which, let me tell you, they're not open at this time. They're close. He even, okay. Got out of his truck and walked up to the door. I thought he was like expecting it to open, but it looked like he was just reading the hours. so you'd know when they open up next. Huh. There's a, down there, there's a King Buffet. They're like an Asian restaurant. Looks like they're open, which I think it's cool for restaurants to be open. Like I said in the last part, you might not have a place to go. And if you're a homeless person, you know, maybe it's the holidays and you feel a little bit like splurging and getting some nice meal, whereas you normally wouldn't have something so nice. You know, like something like Denny's as opposed to McDonald's kind of a thing, because they're open. So it's nice that the Asian place is open too. Plus also, I think, let me finish my other thought. So, yeah, you can do cashiering, but you might not be able to do stocking. And then food prep too. Food prep requires a certain level of being able to do certain tasks, not get food contaminated, following certain rules and stuff. It's definitely not as easy as like cashiering type job too. And then also, I don't know exactly how much this plays into things. Maybe I'm saying something that's a little more exaggerated than it is, but I mean, like cashiering, you know, a lot of times there's long lines, especially at the dollar store. You have to call for backup. Maybe there's no backup. And so it's nice when you're speedy. When you're kind of slow, it's okay, as long as you're not super, super slow. Like there's one person at my work who was super, super slow. He's gotten better and faster, but he's still slow. It's just him, and I don't know, maybe something to do with his age. I don't know what. I'm not trying to super criticize this person, but that's a thing. And so, yeah, you know, with food, however, food can be a lot faster paced, especially fast food. Even like service deli stuff, you kind of want to be quick on your feet, because what I'm thinking of is maybe possibly with cashiering, people are waiting to get certain items. Maybe it's food, you know, but they're kind of waiting, and you know, I think they're going to be a little bit nicer if lines are slow with that than they would with food. Because what I'm thinking is maybe possibly, you know, oh, I'm hungry, I want my food, makes them angry, as opposed to, I got places to be, I don't want to wait in line for my shampoo and paper towels, you know. So that's what I'm thinking. But cashiering is a very versatile job that I think it will be sad when it goes away. We'll find other ways of living, and I'm going to talk about this more in depth in another video. But while we're on this topic, I just want to say, you know, like, sad thing is, you know, it used to be like, oh, special snowflakes and people in the arts category, they're okay. Go make movies while the robots do the rest of the stuff. Sounds kind of nice, especially for me, since I'm like since I like making YouTube videos and films and stuff. But then it's also not quite as simple as that, because, well, even robots are kind of sort of taking they're taking a stab at making stuff. There was a website where you could get random music generated. It would basically generate a whole album of like 5 or so songs with titles and songs. And the sad part is, though, they're not titled great. It's like, I don't know, something epic sounding like, I don't know, let's just make up a title. It's like Police Chase Through the Canyons or something. And the song is something like, like some Candlelight Sonata type Baroque classical music. That's what I'm thinking of, yeah. So they are taking a stab at it, but here's the big reason why even robots with people just making creative stuff might not work out. And here's the thing. So this goes back to an episode from Flash Gordon 1954 TV series, which I love. It's my favorite TV series. Getting a little bit twisty here. My arms are getting tired too. So, because when I was young, I actually thought it would be cool if I had a robot that could do the dishes for me, and like I could cook in the kitchen, and then it would do all the hard cleanup work. I thought that would be cool. And then I went through a very, very small phase where I was a little bit worried because, movies and TV shows always say that robots take over and they're bad. So, and well, that's not really a big worry. Robots can only do what they're programmed to do. So you could program a robot to do malicious stuff. Someone else could, commandeer the controls of a robot and use it for evil. But robots aren't going to take over and decide that they're a better master race and make us slaves and whatnot. That's science fiction. But if you go to Flash Gordon, the thing about these robots is actually true. They're androids. So they're basically our servants, really. But at the beginning of the episode, I forget his name, but there's some king that this is like, I don't remember the exact number, but this is like maybe 1 billion years in the future. But it's still at least 100 years or so before Flash Gordon and Dr. Zarkov and Dale Arden are around. So the king's at one of the android sites with some of like his trusted, I don't know, I guess they're like trusted, I forget what you call, like the priests or whatever, the people underneath the king. And I forget exactly how his speech goes, but his speech goes something like, we're here to turn the androids off, because, possessive servants that need no food or rest. Humans have grown stagnant without purpose. Possessive servants that need no food or rest. Something they cease to kind of strive and like innovate. They didn't say innovate, but they basically cease to be doing lots of useful things because they don't have to do anything. So they're turning off the androids, and that's just what they do. Now, the rest of the episode is about how years later, the keys to the androids have been passed down to, I think, Commander Richards, Flash Gordon, and Dr. Zarkov. They're the only one that knows secret locations of the android bases and the, and the codes to activate them. So there's one bad guy, Queen Credentia, and some other guy who's like a known galaxy outlaw, and Flash can't arrest him because he's on Credentia's planet, not one of the planets that's like under Earth jurisdiction, essentially. So he can't be arrested, but he does warn Credentia that the GBI, Galaxy Bureau of Investigations, isn't gonna, really like her being friends with him and stuff. And she's like, I will choose how to make my own friends, Flash. That's not your decision. And they kind of make decisions about some things, and then they end up kidnapping, well, not kidnapping them, but they end up capturing them, and they put Dale Arden on a spinny table. Now, this is a little bit flawed here, but he says, when you travel up into space in a rocket, this is the bad guy speaking, not Queen Credentia, but her friend, we'll say, I forget his name, but he's like, when you go up in a rocket ship, you experience 6 Gs. How would you like to experience 9 Gs, 10 or even 12 Gs? And they put Dale Arden on this spinny table, and they spin her around in circles so much that if they keep doing it, she's gonna die. So Flash caves in and agrees to give them the secrets to the androids, because that's what they want. So they get the secrets, and then they use the androids to try and take over. But then it ends happily where Flash and his friends are able to escape, and they go in and they destroy the android machine. They destroy the central computer for the otherwise indestructible androids, and everything's safe. Oh, and Flash thought that they didn't have enough info, and that's part of the reason why he told them his part of the secret for the androids, because he thought they didn't have the other info. But it turns out that Queen Credentia's friend did, because actually at the beginning of the episode, when they go turn off the androids and they're leaving down the hallway, they find an android in the hall, and they're like, wait, what's this android doing here? He's supposed to be in with the other androids lined up on the wall, turned off. So they go take it back, and they find there was another guy dressed up as an android, or disguised as an android, who was in the middle of telling the secrets of the androids to somebody else. And they shoot him and then get onto his little wrist radio, and they're like, hello, but of course the other end doesn't respond. We're not going to identify who they are. So it does end happy, and a lot of that is like largely science fiction, but I really think, seriously, like, if we did have robots doing a lot of tasks for us, oh boy, things would get stagnant around here, and humans would cease to have a purpose and strive and stuff. Like, really, think about how much the U.S. economy works, and how things thrive better in an open market versus a captive market. And there's all this stuff. There's always people succeeding to try and be better and do better and prove themselves. There's always innovation happening, and I don't think we'd lose a lot of that innovation if people didn't have to. I mean, if you think that this generation's already lazy enough playing video games and whatnot, think about the future, where there are a lot more of those Amazon stores and other robotic stuff around. Because, I mean, and if you did find a way where you didn't have to work because the robots did it, they were your servants basically, then yeah, we just go stagnant without purpose. It would be like WALL-E, okay? It would be a lot like WALL-E. People so connected digitally that they don't notice physically, and they're all fat sitting in their chairs because they don't get enough exercise and stuff. Even though there is quote unquote exercise, but you're really going for laps in your floaty chair. It would be like that. So yeah, I think something kind of similar to the Amazon store might be good, so that you don't have to have people open on Thanksgiving and other holidays. But then the other end of it could not be so great either. Anyways, I'm gonna cut there. I'll have one more video coming up when I get back home. I'm not gonna tease it since nobody's watching, but hey, see you guys in a bit. If you like this video, like it and get subscribed. Check out my other stuff. This is one of the many things I do on this channel. See you guys in whatever's next.